Jerry sat alone at the back of the class, his fingers gripping the edges of his old, tattered notebook. His school uniform, once white, had faded into a dull shade of gray. His shoes were worn out, the soles barely holding together. Jerry, answer number 5. Miss Agnes, the mathematics teacher, called out. The class turned to look at him. Some smirked. Others whispered. Jerry swallowed hard. The answer is... Miss Agnes rolled her eyes. Useless boy. You never pay attention. The class erupted in laughter. Desmond, the class bully, leaned in. Jerry, do you even have a brain? More laughter followed. Jerry clenched his fists under the desk. He wanted to disappear. As the day dragged on, things only got worse. At break time, Jerry sat under the mango tree, eating dry bread, the only thing he could afford. The other boys had rice, chicken, and soft drinks. Hey Jerry, Desmond sneered, approaching with his gang. Jerry tensed. You look thirsty, Desmond grinned. Before Jerry could react, Desmond poured his bottle of soda over Jerry's head. The crowd roared with laughter. Jerry wiped his face, trying to hold back tears. I hate this school, he whispered. Chapter 2, Mr. Daniels, the only one who cared. The last bell rang. Jerry waited until most of the students had left before heading out. As he walked towards the gate, a voice stopped him. Jerry, wait. He turned. It was Mr. Daniels, the English teacher. Mr. Daniels was different from the others. He never mocked Jerry. He never treated him like a nobody. Sir? Jerry mumbled. Mr. Daniels studied him. What happened? Jerry hesitated, then sighed. Nothing, sir. Mr. Daniels frowned. Jerry, I see how they treat you. I see how you sit alone, how you keep your head down. Jerry looked away. You have potential, Jerry, Mr. Daniels continued. Don't let them define you. Jerry shook his head. Sir, they don't care about me. Even some teachers hate me. I don't belong here. You belong anywhere you choose, Mr. Daniels said. But you have to prove them wrong. Jerry frowned. How? Mr. Daniels smiled. You'll find a way. Jerry wasn't convinced. Chapter 3, The Breaking Point. The bullying didn't stop. One morning, Jerry walked into class and found his desk missing. The class burst into laughter. Looking for this? Desmond grinned, pointing at Jerry's desk outside, covered in mud. Jerry's heart sank. Why do you always pick on me? He muttered. Desmond smirked. Because it's fun. Jerry clenched his fists. I'll tell the principal. Desmond laughed. Go ahead. Who will believe you? You're just a poor rat. Jerry turned, storming out of the class. He ran past the principal's office, past the playground. He kept running until he reached home. His mother, a frail woman with tired eyes, looked up. Jerry? Why are you home so early? Jerry broke down. Mama, I don't want to go to school anymore. She pulled him close. My son, I know it's hard, but you can't give up. They laugh at me, Mama. Even the teachers. She wiped his tears. One day, they will see your worth. Jerry wasn't so sure. Chapter 4, The Big Opportunity. The next day, Jerry hesitated before stepping into class. Mr. Daniels entered, carrying a notice. Students, I have exciting news. The class sat up. The National Science and Innovation Competition is coming up. The winner gets a scholarship and their project will be displayed in the National Science Fair. Whispers filled the room. Anyone interested? Mr. Daniels asked. No one responded. Jerry raised his hand. Gasps filled the room. Desmond smirked. Jerry? Please. You can't even do basic math. The class laughed. Mr. Daniels ignored them. All right, Jerry. You're in. Jerry suddenly felt nervous. He didn't even know what to invent. Chapter 5, The Impossible Dream. For days, Jerry struggled to think of an idea. He spent hours in the school library, sketching different inventions. One evening, he sat by the roadside, watching people fetch water from the well. The bucket was heavy. Women and children struggled to pull it up. And then an idea struck. What if I could make it easier? He ran home, grabbed his old notebooks, and started sketching. After weeks of trial and error, Jerry created a pulley system that reduced the effort needed to fetch water. But would it work? Chapter 6. Proving them wrong. The competition day arrived. The school hall was packed. Teachers, students, and even some parents were there. Desmond and his gang stood at the back, whispering and laughing. "Let's see Jerry embarrass himself." Mr. Daniels patted Jerry's shoulder. "You've got this." Jerry took a deep breath and walked onto the stage. He explained his invention. This system reduces effort by 50%. It can help elderly people and children fetch water easily. Then he demonstrated. The bucket lifted smoothly with half the usual strength. The hall fell silent. Then the principal stood up and clapped. Others joined in. Soon the entire hall was cheering. Jerry blinked in shock. He had done it. Chapter 7. The Change. The next day, Jerry walked into school, expecting the usual bullying. Instead, people smiled at him. "Hey, Jerry, that was amazing yesterday." Even Desmond avoided eye contact. Miss Agnes called him after class. "Jerry, I misjudged you." "I'm sorry." Jerry nodded, unable to speak. At lunch, Desmond approached. Hey, Jerry." Jerry folded his arms. "What do you want?" Desmond scratched his head. I guess I was wrong about you." Jerry studied him, then smirked. "Yes, you were." For the first time in his life, Jerry felt seen. And for the first time, he walked home with his head held high. The end.